All right. Sponsors, if you can come join me at the corner, we want to kick this thing off in a minute. Also, as you guys come in, if you could take the seats in the front so people can file in behind you as they come later, that would be awesome. All right, sponsors, I need you guys up here, stage left, I think this is called. On the right side of the stage left. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. All right, we got a few of y'all. I know a few will trickle in as we go. I know Shay's back there. I'm gonna start. I know the west side people. It's a hike. Christy's there. Okay, yeah, we could do this thing. All right. Hey Billy, can you cut that for me? We're gonna get started for the people that are on time. How's everybody doing today? Hey, do I have like the gain up really loud or something, or do I sound normal? Okay, perfect. It sounds weird to me, but if it sounds good to you, then we're golden. Well, welcome everybody. Real quick show of hands. Who's been to Masterclass before? Make some noise. How many of you is this your first time? Is there anyone here? Let's give a round of applause to all the new people. So if you don't know, we do this the third Thursday of every month, and this is, let's see, this is the 10th month of the year, which means that this is session number 80 of Masterclass Central Florida, formerly Masterclass Orlando. Could you all give yourselves and everyone's involved a round of applause for that? Because that's pretty crazy. It was over 8 years ago that we had this idea, and we were like, nobody was really at the time objectively teaching us what they were doing, sharing their secrets without an ulterior motive. So basically what we found was like, if you wanted to learn from a top producer, you could do it at their brokerage while they try to recruit you, or you could do it at an event sponsored by their company, or you guys get what I'm saying. So we just decided that what if we didn't have something to sell you? What if we didn't have something to recruit you for? What if we weren't the board or any board? What if we just brought people together and had them teach what they're doing to rank in the top 500 in Greater Orlando, out of 24,000 plus agents here? And let's just have them teach exactly what they're doing with no ulterior motive, no ulterior agenda. I mean, if we had any agenda, it's we hope you meet our sponsors. I mean, let's be honest, but I don't have anything to sell you. There's no membership. We make a free magazine for the top 500 agents. We rank them each and every year. Everyone on this panel ranked very high last year, most of them many years in a row. And this is our 8th. We're about to have our 8-year anniversary. But a really quick show of hand, can we just give it up for all the, actually, let's just clap for them. Let's give it up for all the preferred partners, the real producers. Because if you meet anyone you meet in this room that is not a real estate agent, is not here by accident, they are here because they are a certified badass at whatever they do. Just excuse my language. That's the easiest way to say it. And so everyone in this room, they don't bring bagels or donuts to sponsor real producers. They commit for a multi-year commitment, and they are all personally referred by top 500 agents. They are who the best of the best trust. So please connect with the people. Stick around for lunch after. I think PJ is sponsoring the lunch if he's here, but if not, we'll do it. The first $500 of lunch spent at the Eden Lounge after. We would love for you guys to join us. But other than that, we do this every third Thursday, 9:30 to 11. There's one more session after today. We've been doing this pink out session. It's kind of pinked out, so I appreciate all you guys that wore your pink. I appreciate all you that didn't, but as well, just to be clear. But any funds raised today will go directly to Breast Cancer Research Foundation. If you want to make a donation, there's a link on the registration. You can just hit donate. Or if you want to make a donation and can't figure it out, get with me or we'll email out a link after with the replay. So it's really easy to raise more money. But we got no ulterior motive other than to raise money for breast cancer research because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month and we think that's a pretty good cause. So really quickly, we've got some people that stepped up extra to make this thing happen here at Enzion each and every month. I'm going to give them all a minute just to tell you who they are and what they do. You definitely should meet and know each of them. And come and join us next month, third Thursday. I think that's November 21st. And we're doing our second, it's the Go Blue version for Movember. All the money raised will go to the Movember Foundation. So we have a men's panel next month. We have a women's panel this month. And yeah, that's how it's going, and then we'll see you back in January. So, quick show of hands. Everyone just really quickly, can we give a round of applause to all the sponsors in this room? And then sponsors, just come on down. Let's all just line up, and let's go through the line real fast, and let's make this thing happen. So, Steve, I'll let you. There's a button on the bottom. And then here, you just hold that button right here. There's no mute. So just hold that button on the bottom when you're ready to talk and it'll turn it on. And let's just go down the line and do this thing. Thanks, y'all.
Good morning, everyone. Excited to be here. My name is Steve Bell. I am one of the owners of Harding Bell International. We are a full-service CPA firm, basically specializing in real estate agents, property managers, accounting, investors, specifically foreign investors, and expats as well. So in your wheelhouse, because we are taxed, and it is October, you got to start thinking about your planning for next year. Happy to set up a free consultation. You can find me up there where the money's falling down and reach out to me. I'm happy to be here. I am wearing pink. I think I'm colorblind, and well, my underwear is pink, so I'm not going to show you that. But thank you for being here. Looking forward to it.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Richard. I manage Pillar Post, the Jeff Mackey team. Most of you guys probably know my marketing specialist, Heather Hurry. She's sick today, so I'm filling in for her. I normally do inspections. I'd rather be in a crawl space than hold a microphone. But I'm here. I would give you a spiel, but if you guys haven't used us, give us a try. We got a huge team. We got admins in the office. We got great inspectors. If you guys have any home inspection questions, I'll be getting lunch. Thanks, guys.
Good morning, guys. Test. Okay, now it's working. Thank you. Good morning, guys. I'm Tristan from Housemaster Home Inspections. Housemaster is a company with over 40 years of experience and more than 4 million inspections done. So we have expertise in what we do. We cover all Central Florida. Our team speaks multi-languages as English, Spanish, Portuguese. And our role is to give confidence to your clients. So we're not going to provide them a list of problems, but a list of solutions. So please count on us. Thank you.
Am I on? I am. I am Shay Walker. I am a branding photographer, which means I get all the great images for you, for your content, marketing, anywhere where you can show up with a good first impression with images. The difference about me is that in my vibe session, which is my branding session, I am posing you, I am coaching you, I'm giving you ideas. You literally don't have to be prepared at all. You just show up and I've got you. I also own a branding studio, The Vibe Creative, which I do my sessions in as well. And there's a video podcast content studio in there. You can see exactly who I am, what I do, everything, and how to book me, how to contact me on my Instagram, Shay Walker Photo, and I think a QR code goes up here throughout the session. And we're all here for a good cause, so definitely donate, fuck cancer, and wear your pink. Gary. Oh, good. Oh, wait, I think it's on now. Did I do it? Clearly, I need Vic here for this part. I'm Christy Keene with DeVore Design. We do all things listing media, photos, videos, etc. One of the things that I keep running into right now is a lot of you guys don't know that with our luxury staging services, we also include our luxury listing media. So the videos, the photo, all of the 3D, the things that you're going to need for that. And I've run into that a lot lately. So I wanted to make sure that everybody knew about that. Everybody grab their phone. I want you to take down a code. You can use this for any of our services, whether it's photos, video, content creation for your social. It is PINK75. Vic sent me that this morning for you guys to be able to get $75 off anytime between now and the end of November. Again, that's PINK75 for anybody that was here. And as the daughter-in-law of a breast cancer survivor, I'm super excited to see everybody wearing their pink. And if you guys will give me 30 seconds, we're going to try to do Vic proud and do a selfie. Good morning. How's everyone loving the weather today? right? I finally got to pull out the stockings, the long sleeves. But speaking of weather, I hope every single one of you that's a homeowner has flood insurance, because we know weather, Milton, hurricane seasons. I'm sure if you've experienced that. My name is Monica. I'm with Assured Partners Insurance. We're an insurance brokerage based out of Lake Mary. Do insurance, everything you can think of, homeowners, auto, commercial. I'm working on employee benefits now. Anything you need, we're here to help. I have over 25 agents on my team as well, so we can get you same-day quotes and pretty much solve all the problems that you have. But don't come to us if you have a shingle roof that's missing a bunch of shingles, because I will send you over to the inspector and he will have to re-inspect that after it's been updated. So thank you. I hope you guys have a good masterclass. Hello, everybody. Last but not least, I am Jocelyn. I am with Home First Lending. We are your local hometown lender. One, you guys look amazing today. The pink looks really cool up here. So congrats on showing up. And also, I know you guys showed up here to learn. Working with a lender that will help you grow your business is huge. So I just wanted to share a piece of where we're having success right now, because I know it's hard out there, right? House prices are dropping, and this is cha-ching to investors. It is investor season. Let's go after the investors. DSCR options are hot right now. I locked in a rate in the 5s this week, okay? So investors shouldn't care about rates, but when they do, we now are down lower than we've ever been. And also, along those same lines, don't forget, investors don't have to show income when we go with DSCR. They can put down as little as 15%. So find a lender that's going to provide you solutions. Right now, the solution is let's find those investors and let's get them into those houses where prices are dropping. All right, I'm Jocelyn with Home First Lending. I hope everybody has an awesome masterclass.
All right. And a few people that aren't in the room yet, so I'm just going to give a quick shout out. We'll give them all a 1, 2, 3 clap together, though. We'll do all of them. I'll just name them and then we'll do it. We got Artesian Title, Penguin Property Management, Florida Home Photo, Miracle Movers, and the home team with Federal Savings Bank. Let's give them all a 1, 2, 3. And then also in the room, we got our supporting sponsors. CFBI is here. I know that Unique Title is here. We got Hatfellow Productions helping do all the setup. And we've also got the Apex Group with guaranteed rate that's donating $250 to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation automatically as our charity sponsor. And then one quick round of applause for Dave Stewart at DStewartProductions. His crew does all the video. They fix all the audio and they do all the setup, and this isn't their venue. So can we give them a quick round of applause? All right, awesome. Let's kick this thing off. You guys want to learn from people today, right? So I'm going to bring up the panelists, and then I'm going to bring up our guest moderator. Oh, there's another mic. Sweet. I love it. All right. So let's start with Yanira. Yanira Suarez, her team ranked in the top 14 teams in Florida last year by Real Trends. It's not in her bio, but I remember that. It's pretty amazing. They sold over $180 million. She runs a mega team. They have lots of people on the team, and they sell a ton of real estate. But Yanira is a part of her Yanira team. They also are, her and Yuri own a building company. They do lending. They do all elements of real estate is what they're really saying. They're in development, so they understand real estate like the back of their hand, and they're involved with all sorts of transactions. I could read you all about her passions and whatnot, but I think you'll hear it on the stage. She runs the Yanira team at LPT Realty. Let's give a giant round of applause for Yanira Suarez. They sold, by the way, last year they sold 480 units, which is pretty ridiculous. Next up, she was here first, so we definitely have to bring up Kathleen Carlson. She's married to Dr. Bruce Carlson. I didn't know he was a doctor. That's awesome. Congratulations. They raised the two sons, Brian and Brad, in Delaware, the corporate capital of the world. They have 6 grandchildren. In Delaware, she began her successful career in real estate in 1982, selling residential real estate in Delaware, Pennsylvania, and Maryland. She says back then, interest rates were between 16 and 18%. Is that not crazy, y'all? She served as a consultant for Fortune 500 companies, topics such as highly efficient work teams and intercultural work teams. But long story short, I'm going to skip over some of these if that's cool. But she's the founder of Imagination Realty in Celebration, Florida. She opened her office in Celebration in 2005, and she is still today, in 2024, that's 21 years later, the #1 closing agent in Celebration, Florida, and Imagination Realty is #1 too. She's been in our top 25 or so agents in the city every year that we rank all of Greater Orlando. So I don't know how many years in a row that is, but we've been ranking for a lot less years than she's been making what we should have ranked. So let's give a giant round of applause for Kathleen Carlson. And you can take any of these shares that you want. You can pick your chairs. All right. Tiff Morrell is the top producing agents of the Nickley Group. The Nickley Group on the Real Trends list was ranked #1 in the state of Florida, and she is one of the first agents to join the group over 10 years ago. She ranks in the top 35, I think, agents. I think she's in the top 35 agents in Greater Orlando, which is ridiculous when there's 24,000, especially when there's 12 people on the team also making the list. Is just nuts. But real estate started out as a part-time job, blossomed into a full-time career 6 months later. She was the Rookie of the Year and has basically been waxing everybody on the team ever since. She has over 300 reviews on Zillow and Google. Let's give a giant round of applause for Tiff Morrell. And Karen Arbitine is not able to make it today, so Karen that I'm talking about is Karen Wilkins. But last but certainly not least, Karen is the wife, mom of 5, grandma to 1. She's passionate about helping women balance motherhood and a successful career. All of her kids were homeschooled and student athletes at public school while she successfully built a real estate career. The Wilkins Way home team was launched in 2016 when she hired her first agent. The Wilkins Way brokerage was launched in 2018. They launched an expansion team in 2024. She also ranks in the top, she ranks in the top 5 or 10 women in Central Florida literally every single year. So that's a ton of real estate. I don't have the metrics on it. And you could tell by her bio that she doesn't want to rub the metrics in. But let's just say that she sells a ridiculous amount of real estate. Let's give it up for Karen Wilkins. And ladies, you can pick any chair that just grab the chairs in front of you, I guess. And then on the mics, if you just hold the button on the bottom, that's how they turn on. There's no mute. There's just a button on the bottom. And then last but certainly not least, I figured let's bring one of the best female coaches in general. She is super passionate about female entrepreneurship. But Tobi Moyle has more than 20 plus years of real estate finance experience and real estate experience. She's a John Maxwell certified coach. She has all sorts of coaching and speaking certifications, and she didn't want me to read an entire bio or do this whole thing. So let's give a giant round of applause to Tobi Moyle. Her company is Life is a Ladder Coaching, though. So if anyone does need coaching or knows someone that needs leadership or corporate coaching or anything along those lines, any type of business coaching, she's probably a really good resource for you. So I'm going to let her kick it off if you want. You want to do the first question?
Make sure it's working. Yes. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it does look good from up here. You're right. All the pink in the audience is fantastic. Thank you for the introduction, Aaron. My name is Tobi. I'm glad to be here, and I'm especially thrilled to be speaking with some of the powerhouse women in the real estate community right here in Central Florida. So as a business coach, I will say this. It's an interesting dynamic to ask people, any of you, right? Anybody that's in sales, to ask them what you do to be successful. It's just interesting, right? We all have our own way of doing things. And a lot of times, especially top producers like everyone on the stage, if you ask them, they say, well, I just do what I do. I don't know, I work hard, right? I study, I know my area, I follow up with my clients. So we'll try today to go as deep and as detailed as we can so we can give you some nuggets. And I know that any of these wonderful ladies are happy to share. So we'll start with that. I'm going to go a little bit out of order because I wanted to ask you, Tiss. We'll start with kind of, where you were. Sorry, caught you off guard. See, I wanted to ask what you did before you got into real estate, maybe kind of the incarnation of how you got into real estate. And I know Aaron in your intro said that even after just a few months in the business, you just took off. So there's people probably listening to that going, how after 6 months did you turn it into a full-time gig and really have success? Would you mind sharing a little bit?
So before real estate, I was in occupational therapy. I worked at a skilled nursing facility, and I decided to get my real estate license to augment our income. I thought I would do it on the side and maybe sell 2 houses a year. After I got my real estate license, I was introduced by a family friend to Tom Nickley, and that actually was a turning point in my career. So thank you, Tom. And that first year in real estate, I worked full-time 6 months. In therapy, I worked from 6 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon with a caseload of patients. And every day I would go to Keller Williams, and I would be training under Tom Nickley and Jeff Wernsing, my mentors. And I did that every day for 6 months and then the years after. And then 6 months later, I got busy. I decided to transition, to make that leap of faith and transition to a full-time realtor. And my first year in real estate, I sold between 25 to 28 homes. And ever since then, my business took off. And year after year, I've been able to help more families every year. Last year, I closed 113 homes. And now I have a small team within the Nickley Group. I'm very proud of my team.
Congrats. Yeah, that's fantastic. Really great. We'll punt it back to you, Karen. Yeah, what was your background?
Well, I highly recommend everyone getting their master's in special ed, and that really helps with being a realtor. So and it helps if you want to be a team lead. So if that happens to be your college major, talk to me. I can teach you a lot. So I was a special ed teacher, very quickly got pregnant, started having children, stayed home, had 5 kids. And honestly, we were heading to St. Pete for vacation, and I got another call of someone because we were highly connected, and we did stuff on college campuses for many years. And so we had lots of extra kids, adult children. And one of them called and needed a referral for a realtor again. And so as my husband went to walk out the door and pack up, I said, you know what, let me go online and see if there's a real estate class this week. And there was, that started the next day. And so I said, you know what, you take those 5 kids on vacation. I'm staying home and going to go take my real estate exam. And so I really had no expectations other than I had been pregnant or nursing my entire adult life. And I was tired of being pregnant or nursing and needed something that was my own. And so that's really how it started. And it was the same thing. If I could just have enough money to have a little extra money to give, because I felt like we were so tight, and if I could take my kids on a nice vacation, outside of Florida, that was my goal. And I've accomplished it. So we're doing nice vacations, and I have plenty of money to give. So that was where we started, and we haven't forgotten that goal all along the way.
That's great. It's funny not to make this a man or woman thing, and we have a mixed audience, I know, but these are things that men just wouldn't understand, of being pregnant and nursing for so many years.
Yeah, 15 years, and I was like, that's it. I need something of my own.
There are some differences. Thank you. All right, Yanira, what about you? Can you share a little bit about your background and how you got into real estate? And now it's a little weird.
Yes. Now, here we go. For me, it was a little bit different. I'm from Puerto Rico, so I moved to United States when I was 17, looking for a better future for myself, for my family. And I moved to Buffalo. Who here knows where Buffalo is? So I moved to Buffalo, literally like pointing at the map and finding a place to go and go to college. And when I moved to Buffalo, I didn't speak a word of English whatsoever. So that was fun, being in college and being in audiences like this, and the professor speaking in the front and me crying in the back with a black hoodie because I didn't know a word of what he was saying. But it was a beautiful life lesson in my life. I was exposed to so much. I worked with my dad for years in farms, picking blueberries, raspberries, working in the farm for grapes, that I learned that it takes 3 years to have actually a good, what is the word? The harvest, yes, for the wine and everything else. So I learned a different respect when I go to the supermarket now and buy my vegetables and my fruits, a respect for the people that actually do this work. At some point, sometimes it was inhumane. We didn't even have bathrooms or where to do anything. And I was with all my beautiful people from different places where I learned that I was an immigrant with papers. Because if you guys don't know, Puerto Ricans were U.S. citizens from birth. But not knowing English made me part of everybody else that didn't have papers, let's say. So I learned that I was also an immigrant, so I needed to work harder for my dreams. But I learned English. That's why I'm here with you guys. I passed my classes and I graduated after 5 years, and I got my degree, and I pointed again the map, and I was like, I'm done with the cold and the snow. So I came to beautiful Florida thinking that in Disney, everything has to be amazing. Well, life teaching me other lessons as well. I was in human resources for many years. I worked for Westgate Resorts in timeshare for over 8 years or so. And when I thought I had everything, divorce came to my life. So I became a single mom with a 10-year-old and 2 handicapped parents. So I had to definitely look for money. And that's how I entered into this beautiful industry, getting my license in real estate and mortgage, both at the same time. In a time where the market was not the best time, 2006, 2008. So if you guys are thinking that this is a tough market, that was a tough market. And now we're here directing the largest Latino mega team in LPT, the Yanira Team, with over 110 agents. Thank God we've been so blessed. And in our career, we have helped over 7,500 families in the Latino community to become homeowners and investors, and growing and expanding and creating generational wealth and financial freedom. And there's nothing more beautiful and passionate that I have in my life than to help people grow and transform.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story. And it's a why we ask that question, right? That background, because we all bring all of our life experiences with us to who we are and what we do today. So yeah, thanks for sharing. Kathy, what about you? What's your background? I know it's these are a little funky for sure. Can you hear you?
Oh, yes, okay. First try. Kathy Carlson. I grew up far above Cayuga's waters in Ithaca, New York, not far from Buffalo, so I can attest to the cold winters. I grew up there. My family grew up there. I went to Cornell University, and my major was in French, and I still speak fluent French today. But the interesting thing I think I learned from my work ethic from my father and my mother. My father was a Rotarian, and I am a 40-year-old, not 40 years old, Rotarian. And my dad always taught me that to be a success in the world, you have to be a citizen of the world. Thus, he started me on my French journey when I was in 4th grade, and every Wednesday he sent me to a little old lady's house. I think she was 35, but in my view, she was an old lady. And she would open the door to her little apartment at Cornell University campus and say, Cathy, bienvenue, informative quelque chose de belle aujourd'hui. And I would have to talk only in French. She's never spoken English to me. And I learned to speak French because I was immersed just one day a week. And he said, not only should you know how to speak another language, you should know how to think in another language, because you will certainly learn that every culture isn't just speaking a different language, they think differently. Thus, when I married Bruce, he was at Cornell University, 56 years we've been married, and we went off, and he became, ended up being a worldwide leader for DuPont Company. And I went into real estate in Delaware, which is the corporate capital of the world. And because of my French and my way able to think in other ways, I was invited into many corporate Fortune 500 companies with my degrees, and to talk about what are we going to do. It's 1982, and I had Hercules, DuPont, ICI, Disney. All of them were incorporated there, but the local ones, the banks, couldn't get anybody to transfer because interest rates, depending where you were from, California, they wanted to bring them to the corporate headquarters, W.L. Gore, who made Gore-Tex, who I worked for. They said, how are we going to get him there? So I would speak to maybe a group, not quite as big as this, but half as big as this. And they'd say, we've got to move our people. We need our chemists. We need our scientists. How are we going to get them? They won't move. They won't leave California because they can't afford to move at 18% interest rates. So I had done my research with a local group of lenders, and you've got lenders here, be friends with your lenders. I said, what are we going to do? We've got to get these rates down. And they said, oh. So in case you don't know, in 1982, the term points came into being. The year was 1982. I was there. I got MBNA, Wilmington Trust, Hercules, DuPont. I said, you're going to buy their mortgage rate down, and you're going to pay points. And points are defined as 1% of the loan amount. So all of a sudden, that next year, we were able to move many, many people into Wilmington, Delaware. So that's why today. We'll talk later today about what do we do today that makes us different. You need to know all your options because we're hitting a market. So I used that same technique in 2008 when things were bad. And I used get to yesterday's rates today. I'm right now doing a Columbus month special. You will get 2 points. The seller will provide 2 points towards your mortgage buy down rate if you choose, or towards your down payment. So we give them options. So builders have been doing it. So these are the things that I grew up with, and I'm a reader. So I just became impassioned with real estate. When we moved here, I said to Bruce, I've been doing this for all these relocation companies all over in corporate America. Let's open our own company. So we opened Imagination Realty in 2005 in Celebration, Florida, and we're still there today and loving every day. We're the cheers of celebration. We say, welcome, new friend. And that's what we love.
And based on the online research I did, everybody in Celebration knows you guys, and you do a great job. So, and you mentioned something important, and shout out, there are a lot of bankers, mortgage professionals in the audience. Yeah, you talk to your partners, right? Make sure where there's a will, there's a way, and you can get creative and even make a strategy out of it. So really good points there. So let's dig in a little bit. I'd like to know, and I'm sure people in the audience or at home would like to know, how do you do it? How do you logistically, how do you do it? So Karen, can you share a little bit about, do you have a team? Do you have a transaction coordinator? Do you do things yourself? Kind of, what is it logistically? How do you get it done? What does that look like right now?
So I'm a non-competing broker. So what I do to get done is different than probably what most of you guys do. So I'll kind of talk on both sides of that. We have a small team. We have about 10 producing agents, and I'm always raising up 5 or 6. And we have a transaction coordinator. We have a listing coordinator. We have an office manager, a marketing coordinator. And so it's really just a one-stop shop. You come in, you better be creative with your tax write-offs because I'm paying for everything. So it's just plug and play. You just do, and we have a weekly meeting. We meet on conference call 3 mornings a week. And then 1 day a week, we meet together. Everyone has to come into the office for a 2-hour meeting. And so we're very hands-on, very high focus on training, high focus on knowing your contracts, knowing how to be a professional. But also the flip side, when this whole thing blew up way bigger than my need for $10,000 a year that I aspired for, I said, okay, what am I doing here? Like, do I just hang a sign outside and say, Mama's tired and we're done with this? Like, this was a crazy idea. Or do I leverage it? And so in the leveraging, I said, if I leverage it, this is going to be the foundation. We're going to make and improve communities. Improve and serve communities, sorry. And so a lot of what we do is we build our marketing, we build our relationships off of looking for ways that we can make communities better. And then a lot of our team meeting on Tuesdays is part of that. Like, what's our next step? How can we serve? Where are we going this week? Where are we going next month? What are we doing to make an impact? And if you come from a good heart and give and build relationships, it's amazing how consistent your business will be. So we buy no leads. We have zero leads coming in. Everything we do is just directly from giving, serving, and building relationships with the community.
Karen, who was the first person that you hired? Going back to when you
got so I can't, in 2015 I closed. In 2014 I probably closed 30-something transactions. I'm still homeschooling all the kids. They're all little. Nobody's driving yet. It's just like chaos. I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and so I hired an assistant. One of my past clients. I said, okay, I just need you to follow me around, and I said I want everything to be a transferable concept. Just write down everything I do for a year, and I'll just pay you per hour. And so she just followed me around and wrote down everything and created transferable concepts of who I am. And then we doubled that year. I was like, well, that didn't work out. I'm more tired. Now I have to talk to you all the time, and I'm tired, So that was a really bad idea. So then I went to my neighbor, and she was a stay-at-home mom, and I said, Joanne, and some of you may have done a transaction with her. She's still with me, Joanne Da Silva. And I said, you need to go get your license. I can't do this alone. She goes, I don't want your life, because she saw how tired. I'm like, no. So then I called her husband. I'm like, Artie, Joanne needs to get her license. I can't do this alone. So she was my first agent. She's still with me. And after the first year, she's like, I told you this was too much. And she did like 20-something transactions because I was just handing things off to her. And so she has a rule, and we honor it. She will never do more than 18 transactions a year, or she's cranky. So obviously, I had to keep growing because she has a very clear limit. 18's her max.
Hey, we all do, right? I think it's good because we all need to know our limits. So that's great. Thank you for sharing. What about you, Tis? What is your? How do you get the production close that you?
Hi. So I have a highly leveraged business model. As my business grew, I needed the support of various roles. In my third year of real estate, I hired my first showing assistant. That was very difficult for me to do, letting go of control. But it was game-changing for me, and there was no turning back. Years later, I hired my executive assistant. So now I have my executive assistant, Kayla, and she helps me organize my day. She helps me prioritize my tasks. Also my showing partner schedule, and we talk about priorities, what's important, any contract deadlines. And she also helps me with responding to clients' questions on a daily basis. I have a lot of text messages, phone calls, and emails, and she helps me with that. My full-time showing partner schedules appointments and shows houses for me. And within the team, I have a dedicated transaction coordinator. So with their support, my EA, my showing partner, my transaction coordinator, I'm able to leverage my business and then focus on the more important things, and that is database management, making sure nothing falls through the cracks, staying in touch with my past clients. That's very, very important in my business, and also nurturing and converting leads. I have new business that comes my way. I make sure I do that.
What advice would you give to someone who's listening that was in your spot all those years ago that was really nervous or felt, worried to give up that control? Is there any advice looking back now that you would give?
Just make that leap of faith and do it. It's really, really good to have a showing partner, and it really frees up so much of your time to do the most important things. And also, it's really, if you want to grow your business, you really have to give up that control.
Yeah.
And trust other people that they will do a darn good job.
Yep, got to try, right? Yep, good deal. All right, Yanira, now I know that you have a big team, a big group, because I was looking on your Facebook and it looked like you just have a great culture, right? I saw one of your Zoom calls or something that you were doing with all of your agents. So can you share a little bit about what your dynamic of that team looks like?
Of course. When I first started, I started like many of you guys as a solo agent. And I was great. I was amazing. And I found immediately my niche, which is one of the first things that every agent should do. I think that sometimes us as agents, we want to serve every community, everybody. We want all the buyers, all the sellers. And the biggest mistake that we make is not finding the niche that you're going to be the best at. We can never serve everybody. You have to find who you're going to be best at. And that was what my Latino community. But the biggest mistake also that you can make is think that you can do it all by yourself. Like she said, I was very controlling as well. Because when you start being successful, you don't trust that anybody else can do it better than you can, right? Negative. You need to collaborate. You need to create your sphere to become successful. And that's when we decided to go for the team, for the Yanira team. Why a team? Because we understood that branding always beats product. So when you create culture, when you create an environment that is going to serve a particular community as a team, then your clients are never underserved, because on your own, you cannot take care of everybody. And that started happening to me very soon. I had hundreds of clients, and Yanira was only one. I couldn't clone myself. But when I expanded to my vision to become a team, now it's not just me. Now it's hundreds of people bringing the service to our community and to the people that we're going to be the best at. So how does a team work? I have three transaction coordinators and a transaction coordinator manager to take care of hundreds of leads and clients. We have an average of closing of 40 to 60 transactions a month. So that's a lot for agents to be able to take care of. So I take all that paperwork away from the agents, and my transaction coordinators take care of that. We have our own marketing team, which I have my beautiful CMO and my videographer here with me. I couldn't make it without them because all the marketing that you have to create, you can't be posting yourself videos and social media. That takes all the time of your hands to be able to create the business. So you have to delegate that as well. I have our Queen Homes department, which is our construction company that runs on its own as well with admins, with salespeople. I have my concierges here as well with us today. So that's a whole other department that takes care by itself. I have my beautiful Jimena that is here with me as well, which is my talent ambassador, my recruiter. I couldn't recruit just on my own either. It's hard to be able to produce, to manage, to supervise, and be able to recruit as well. So I have my recruiting department. I have trainers. I have a full-time sales manager on the floor that all he does is supporting my team. He doesn't do sales on his own. I pay for him to be 100% committed to the team to help people convert. Because the leads come in, amazing, but somebody has to know how to do the closings. So I have a sales manager. That's all that he does. And I have my amazing husband, my partner, Mr. Yuri Gomez, the money guy, people call him. We are together partners in Queen Homes, our construction company. You gotta build a team that is gonna help you grow. If you truly want to be successful in real estate, you have to learn that collaboration is very important and finding your niche.
Yeah. Have you ever, in the beginning, was it hard to find the right people for your team, or was it easy? I mean,
oh Lord, let me see. How can I answer you that? I can tell you that
be honest, we're amongst friends here.
So I've been in business since 2005. Last year, I can say that it was a prayer answer that I finally put together the most amazing corporate team ever. That's how long it could take you. I mean, but you cannot just give up.
Right.
You got to keep looking and finding the right person. But that doesn't mean that you're going to stop and say, oh, no, well, that means that I'm the only one that can do it the best. Because by yourself is going to be 10 times harder. Not impossible, but if you really want to be successful, you're going to have to create that team that you're going to trust.
Can only do so much by yourself, right? Right. Yeah.
Yes.
You're so right. By the way, shout out, because you have great social media and all the marketing that you do. It's fantastic. So great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Kathy, what about you? What are you guys doing down there in Celebration to own that market like you do?
Well, you've heard about boutique brokerages. So I chose, very much as you have advised, and being just a little older, hopefully a little wiser, I did have many agents many years ago, but I realized in my life and my age and looking back with perspective that there's only one thing in the world that I have been given a gift that is totally mine. Nobody can take it away from me, and that's time. I got the same time you've got, but I really know I can't blame you if I get overwhelmed because you asked me to do something and I did it. I can't say it's your fault. So that's something that just comes for new agents, that comes with wisdom, because it's always easy to blame somebody for taking your time away from you. So once you get over that, and the world is very loud right now, it's very loud, and you do have to take some time before you decide what your jobs are for the day, before you go into a time management course, which everybody espouses. But you shouldn't have your list of what you have to do. You should have some quiet time and listen to that still small voice within and decide. In the quiet hours, I go to bed early, get 9:30, no TVs in our bedroom, and we read for relaxation. I don't read self-help books. Whatever it helps you relax and go to sleep. Get up very early because that's my time. And at 6 a.m., I've got my coffee, and I'm a reader, and I'm leading to Readers Shall Inherit the Earth, Marshall McLuhan said. And it's because when a lot of people are listening and saying we have to pivot because of buyer brokerage, we have to pivot, learn to pivot. I say, oh, no, we got to learn to, especially for the women in the group, to pirouette.
I like that.
Because otherwise you're in a tennis game and you're reacting, and it's not your time anymore. It's their time. It's the market's time. If you learn to pirouette and be a little more graceful and gracious, you'll start to see trends. So what do? I read the Wall Street Journal all by myself, the newspaper. Can you believe it? Nobody's talking to me. The television's not on. And that particular paper I like because it doesn't tell me what to think. It says, this happened over here, this happened here, this happened here. And then I can decide, that's how I pivot. I think I'll give attention to this today. I do read the Orlando Sentinel every day, cover to cover. They arrive at my house at 3:30. I've been guilty sometimes to get up because I can't wait to see what's in the paper, but I'm usually up at 6. And but that gives more of a very opinionated. But guess why I read it? Because people coming to the Orlando, we have 1,000 people every single month that come to the Orlando area, and they read the Orlando Sentinel. So they get a lot of their opinions there, and I need to know what they're reading. So if you read the Inman News, if you have that, the Orlando Business Journal, you should all be part. I wouldn't lecture you, but the Orlando Business Journal tells me what's happening in Lake Nona, who bought what, that Joe Lewis, who built Isleworth, you might know that he just, his property just sold for $15 million. And I know these things not because I'm smart, it's because I read. So I would encourage you to take that time. And when I had agents, the secret to the little boutique that we have is show up. There's one rule, just show up. And the corollary to that is all the time. And by that, I don't mean you have to be sitting in the seat at the desk, because many of you don't even have brick and mortar offices. I do, a walk-in office. But show up and know your stats. Because the day that you're sitting there and you don't know how many houses are in the market, and a guy in a sweatsuit and all sweaty comes in and says, who's the best broker? Who's the best seller in this office? And you're sitting there and you don't dare say that because you might not be the best. He said, how many houses are in the market? And you go through this rigorous questioning, and then I can go out and say, so who are you? Well, you don't need to know my name. And I find out that he was, at that time, the CEO of Universal. And people had judged him because he was in this sweaty outfit, but because I had the answers that I had read in the newspaper and I'd been on Matrix and I'd read all that, I could say, well, there's today 47 single-family homes in Celebration, sir, and there are 66 multifamily homes. And he said, well, that's it. That's who needs to work on my thing. But that comes from reading.
You always want to know more than your clients,
you
right?
You have to know more. And believe you me, if that person had walked out of there, you had never seen anybody from that company again. So we're very small. I'm in awe, in absolute awe. But you need a team. The very first person I hired was in 2005, because you had asked that. Ann Whalen, she's still with me and still does my support work. And then I have a network of a few mortgage lenders, a few inspectors, and because in case one, you should always have more than one, but you should have them come speak to you and treat them well, and realize they are part of your team. And then one word of caution, I do not have a transaction coordinator that does not sit in my office next to me. Her name is Ann. I'm a little afraid for some of the new people that have been told to get transaction brokers from other countries, from different areas of the United States. Every single day in my email is some transaction coordinator from I don't know where saying, you need me. Well, if they're not there, they take time. They take time. They don't know who you are. They don't know your culture. They don't know, in my case, Celebration. So I would just, if you're new, make sure you have a mentor in your company, whether it's a boutique or a franchise. Have somebody that gives you some time so that you can understand but to just hire a transaction coordinator from someplace else, got to be very, very leery of that.
So I'm going to go ask a question about pivoting or pirouetting, as you said. But before, kind of almost like a rapid fire, really quick, wanted to go down the line and start with you, Karen. Can you share, do you have any daily kind of rituals, habits? Obviously, we all have schedules that we kind of keep, but is there anything that, you think contributes to your success that you're pretty, dogmatic about?
Well, I think Aaron, he joked, Karen has good numbers, but she never shares them because I don't care. I actually, on the way here, Aaron, you'll appreciate this. I texted my office manager. I said, Aaron's going to ask me what my production is. Can you tell me what 2023 was and what 2024 is year to date, just in case I need to know that? So it's in my phone. I don't even have it memorized. So if you need it, I have it in my phone. But instead of looking at those numbers, I do agree that our stats are important, but our personal numbers I've never found to be important. What I find to be important on a daily basis is I ask myself, did I show up today? Did I do the right thing today? Did I do what I know it takes to grow my business and to improve other people's lives? And if I did that, the numbers will always reflect it. And year over year, and this year we're way up from last year, even in a slower market, and year over year, your business will grow if you do that consistently over time. So showing up for us is how we do business, but so often as realtors, we show up part-time or we show up some days. But every day, if I show up on the days that I've designated I'm going to show up, then I know my business is going to grow. And I know that everyone under me is going to be taken care of.
So I have a follow-up question to
I
that.
got her numbers here.
Yeah, you want to share the numbers?
Yeah, probably like 40 million in her name last year.
Okay.
And I don't know the team and I don't know the other areas, so probably way more.
I'm going to tell you just so that we can get over this, okay? I have to slow down.
Go, Karen, go. Tell us.
I had to look it up just now too, though.
Yeah. Evidently, last year my team did 92 million and closed 223 units year to date, 125 million, 293 units. Just so you know.
But who's
Yeah, I told you it's a lot.
But who's counting?
Why I
But I could care less.
Well over the 10,000 mark. You're good on the So, like I said, follow up. Here's what I would say is a little coaching question for everybody in the room. I think everyone should know, and I ask all of my clients, what is your measure of a successful day? What is that? And there's no wrong or right answer, by the way, but we should all have one. Is it that you spoke to so many new people? Is it that you returned all your phone calls? Could be a combination of things. But you have to have some measure, some way to give yourself a pass or a fail so that you can actually, rest easy at night and say, okay, I did it. Not every day is going to be that perfect day. You're not going to be able to give yourself a big gold star every day. But it's important to do that. Otherwise, you become a hamster in a wheel. If you never give yourself any okay, today was a good day. I checked all the boxes. Because guess what? In real estate and in finance, your job is never done, right? We're not working on factory lines where you made 100 widgets and you can go home and say, honey, I'm home. I did my job today and I'll get up and do it again tomorrow. It's a never ending thing. So you have to give yourself some lines in the sand, right?
And part of it is each of you need to know yourself personally because
That's so true.
Because I could give you my list or I don't, this is where the special ed teacher comes in. Everybody's personality is different. So their successful day is going to look a little different, but they need to know what their successful day looks like. But then there's some common threads that are going to run through that day.
So follow up, you perfectly said it right. What is your measure? You said you showed up that day. So what is
Well, for me personally,
yeah.
I want to always be a huge support to my team. I want to be available. I want to be learning ahead of them. I want to be presenting opportunities for them so that they can grow their relationships. I mean, it's pretty, I know, Nickley, you guys live off of leads, right? Am I right? And then imagine if I just took all that away and then told all your agents, you got to show up. And it's totally different. So I need to create ways that they can keep growing their business without feeling like they're drowning. But creating opportunity for them, being available, being ahead of the curve, knowing what's going on in the market, pivoting appropriately so that, we started making pivots way before the lawsuit went into place so that they could naturally flow through it, just being thoughtful of them and the community that they're in.
And I'm going to come back and ask about those pivots in a second. So thank you. Tiz, what about you? What is your, do you have some daily things that you do, your schedule or weekly things you do?
Yes. So what I do is that I just put in the work that I do every day. So I've been very consistent. A lot of my business right now comes from past clients, repeat business, referrals, agents from out of state calling me directly, and also clients finding me online and then calling me also. And since my business is really centered on building lifelong relationships with my past clients, I make sure that after they close, I stay in touch with my clients. So to me, a successful measure of my daily schedule is making sure that I'm also very responsive. So text, emails, phone calls, I always return those within the same day. It bothers me if I don't. At the end of the day, there's no emails that I have not responded to, no phone call, no missed phone calls. I listen to all my voicemails every day. That's very, very important. I think responsiveness is key and consistency with me.
Thank you. Yeah, and those are things that matter to you, so, and that's very important things too. What about you, Yanira? What's your schedule look like?
Oh, Lord.
My days are very, very different though. We run 5 different companies. But let's talk about yesterday. So yesterday I woke up at 6:30. I work out. I did my priming. Because I truly believe that to be successful in every aspect of your life, you have to take care of yourself, which is what you were saying before, taking time for yourself. So I do make sure that the first hours of my day, I spend it taking care of myself first. So I exercise, I prime, I pray, I read, I instruct myself, and I declare how my day is going to be and for my team that day. So I came to the office. We had our weekly meeting that we have every Wednesday with all of our agents in the office that is required for everyone to be here. That we do trainings every week. Every week we have trainings for our agents to keep them current with what is happening in the market. That's for 2.5 hours. After that, I met with my beautiful Jimena to go over recruiting to see our next class that is going to start, that I also teach new agents for the month of November. We're expecting to have another 25 new agents in the team. Then I met with my sales manager to go over the pipeline and the conversion percentage and how we can help our agents to be more proactive and to be able to convert from the leads that we provide to them, that we provide about 500 to 800 agents leads a month to my agents from the brand. Then I met with the TC manager, the transaction coordinator manager, to go over all the pipeline of all the closings for this month to make sure that we're closing, right? That nothing is moving for the next month. Then I met with, who was it that I met with? The sales team for Queen Homes to see how the sales are going for the construction company. Then I met with my beautiful Brenda and our videographer to record the TV ads for next month. Then I met with this group of investors from Dubai that wants to build multifamily and commercial industrial with Queen Homes as well. And then I finished my day about 9:30 p.m. preparing to be here with all of you beautiful people. But I am very into having time management as my priority. I believe, and this is something that we teach in the culture to our team, I believe that you cannot wake up and say, oh, it's going to be a beautiful day. Let me see what clients I'm going to call. It can go very easily fast your day and you didn't do anything. And you were busy. You were truly busy, but you didn't accomplish anything. So as agents, the majority of the people, when I interview them, they say, I became a realtor because I want to have time for myself. And I want to be able to travel and have my own schedule. I go like, this is the wrong career. Because we work Saturdays, we work Sundays, we work every day. And you have to be available for your clients, but you got to have time management control. You got to know exactly what your day looks like, how many phone calls you're going to make, how many buyers or sellers, whatever you're specializing into, you're going to go after that day, how many appointments. Don't waste time in having lunch with your friends or your boss, or go after clients, meetings, talk to people to create your network of people that are going to bring you the deals. That's how you need to spend your day. And if you don't know what's happening at 9, 10, 12, 1 p.m., your day is going to go by and you didn't accomplish anything. So time management is my suggestion to you guys today.
I'm going to jump in for 2 seconds because I like what she said, but I want to summarize something that I heard, because as she's listing all the people she spoke with, some of you guys are probably like, yeah, you don't have a this, you don't have a that, so you're not really catching the golden nugget that she's really sharing. You may want to write this down. One of my mentors always says, those who think govern those who labor. You might want to write that down. I'm telling you. Those who think govern those who labor. So what she is showing you without ever saying is that she spends her day in the thinking and the strategizing and then telling the people what to go do. So she meets with Green Homes and then they work on it. She meets with this team and then they work on it. She's having combos with these. And I'm not saying everyone has to have that type of business, but everyone should realize that the more you move up, if you're in the strategy, thinking, planning, envisioning, pivoting, all the pirouetting is Kathy's talking about literally reading and doing the thinking. Those who think will always govern those who labor. And a lot of people, they get so caught up in the monotonous stuff, thinking that they're the only person who could make the slideshow for today's masterclass or who could, whatever the thing is. And even if you do that well, if you're not in the space where you're thinking, you're in the space where you're laboring, and you will always be ruled by someone who does the thinking. So I'll jump back out, but I had to
Actually, I want to finish with this because you just reminded me something that we were telling our agents yesterday. If you are a solo agent and you're a part-time or full-time, but you're a solo agent and you want to work from home, how many people here work from home? So the majority of the people love that, right? Because, well, I have time to do my things as well. I don't know about you, but in the pandemia, I stayed home, obviously, because we couldn't be in the office. And I found myself, oh my God, wasting so much time because then I remember that I had to do laundry. So I went and I put the clothes to wash, right? But I'm going to keep calling. I'm going to keep working. But then the laundry already stopped. So now I got to pass it to the dryer. And, oh, my dog passed by. Let me walk the dog now. And I spend another 15, 20 minutes there. And I'm home, so let me cook lunch for tomorrow. So I spend another one hour, cooking or whatever. At the end of the day, if you really count it, you worked 45 minutes. And you were really busy the whole day. And all of that is needed and necessary. But when you don't have time management for the business, you're not creating anything. You're just exhausted and you're not creating.
So I maintain the 2 C's, and that is consistency is competence. So if you're consistent, you will end up being competent in what you're doing and what you want to do. So I'll be very personal here. What is my consistency based of? You caught a little bit of my morning routine. I have a priority list every day. It's not just who I'm going to see and what I'm going to do, but that 6 o'clock in the morning time when nobody's awake and nobody's talking to me is I devote my time in this order. God first, that's my prayer time. That's my time to listen, not just talk and ask for things, but what do you want me to do? God first, family second, because they are volunteers in my life, just like you all are volunteers wherever you are. And so I need them to know they're very special to me because they don't have to stay close to me. Some of you have been estranged with kids or know people who are estranged from their parents. I don't want that. And I have 6 grandkids and 2 sons and daughters-in-law. So it's God first, family second, and my job comes third. And I'm very consistent in that. And when I keep it in that order, at the end of the day, if it wasn't a good day by my measurement, as you said, what's your measurement of success? I go back and say, what did I not do? And sometimes I got up at 6 and I started reading my text messages and my emails, and I forgot about God. So whenever I leave one of those out in that order, my day doesn't go well. And so that's my order. You'll have your own. But the consistency of your order to say at the end of the day, as you've asked, Tobi, how do you know you've had a good day? That's how I know I have had a good day. And the other thing is what Aaron just talked about is working on your business, the thinkers.
Instead of in it.
Doesn't make me more intelligent, not younger than you for sure. But it does say if I work on my business in those quiet moments, then I have time to work in my business. So for new agents, it's so easy to wake up in the morning, you're working from home, the dog's got to go out, the laundry's there, the salesman's at the door, UPS, oh, look what I got in UPS. And all of a sudden it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and all that list that you made, you don't even know why you made it, but it sure didn't get done. It just goes into the next day. So again, just try to have your answer at the end of the day in your still small hours and say, was it a good day today? And if it wasn't, don't blame yourself, but certainly don't blame anybody else. That's the first thing. But don't blame yourself. Just go back to your consistent, what is it you need to do? and you'll find the gap. You'll see which of your priorities you left alone that day. So work on your business.
Love it. Tobi's mic's going out, so I'm going to jump in and just kind of help out. How many of y'all have learned something so far? Make some noise. I'm going to make sure we get at least one or two questions. There's one I'm going to ask that I just got to get the quick answer from everybody just to make sure we give them at least a few more nuggets. One of them is I just want you guys to ramble off. Give me like 1, 2, or 3 tools, tech, systems that you like in your business that they may want to look into use. I'll start with you, Karen. Any tool, technology, database, software, any of it. Just give us a couple programs or tools that you guys use and what they do.
Well, this is really elementary, but the first thing that came to my mind was just using the free conference call, because staying in touch with you, if you're on a team or with a team, constant communication and training is important. And so that's such an easy way to talk and stay. If people can ask quick questions every morning, we can have accountability with each other. We can stay in community.
You have a morning huddle call.
Yeah. But I think it's such a cheap, easy thing, but it's huge and helpful. The second thing that comes to mind is we also just Slack or GroupMe. I mean, there's other systems we use for the big things, but I think sometimes we forget the little things. Slack or GroupMe, where people can do quick lifeline calls like, hey, I'm writing this contract. I'm confused. Some of the leadership's not available. Quick opinions, quick ideas, So I feel like we depend on each other a lot. So I think that availability to each other, I'll use the easy tools. You guys, I can go through the bigger tools, but I'll let you guys stick with the sky slopes and all that stuff and follow-up balls. I mean, we use all that stuff too, but I think the little things sometimes we forget about.
I'm not very tech savvy, and I rely on my team. I rely on my team for those, but I find my virtual business card is very helpful. I send that to all people I talk to, initial contact. I send that right away. I also like Mojo because it helps me call as many people. I have so many past clients, and when it's time for me to call my past clients, it's difficult to reach 500 people at one time. But Mojo helps me a lot and helps me stick with my schedule when I have to call my past clients or when I want to call my past clients. And we have Commissions Inc., which is also great. We use that. And Kayla knows about all the marketing things that she does for my business, and I know nothing about it so much, but that's why she's so important to me.
Definitely Follow Up Boss. It's one of our best tools as a CRM. You need to have a good CRM to be on top of your clients. If not, you will forget. You will forget things and forget who you need to follow up with and who you needed to call and what task you needed to do and what was the most important thing for that day. So follow up is definitely a must-have, or any other CRM, but you need to have a CRM. No sticky notes, please. No sticky notes. We gotta work with systems. We do use Slack as well. It's a great tool to keep in touch with your team members if you're in a team, or even with your clients as well. And I would say definitely try to be more personable with your clients. And what do I mean with that? More Zoom calls with your clients instead of just emails and texts. That is easier for us because you send massive probably texts or emails to people. People want, you and I want to talk to each other. That's why Aaron does this type of events, so you can actually see people face to face and learn from them. People want to see you, who they're working with, who they're going to do business with. So try to set those Zoom meetings. If it's people that can meet with you in the office or anywhere else, talk to them face to face and use that tool to engage with clients.
So I'd like to just throw in using your phone. We like to find every way not to use our phone. If we're going to go with the 3 simple ones, I'll add
you mean just picking up the phone and making the phone call versus
dial the phone.
Yeah, actually call people. Yeah, you're right. It can be tough sometimes. You're right. But
I'm guilty of the not being technophobe, but I will say my tools are people.
Yeah.
I join many, and I'm members. I'm a vice president of the Celebration Foundation. It's a 501c3. I've been a director for 30 years in Rotary. I had 4 hours of board meetings yesterday. Those are my tools. I do constant contact. It goes out to about 2,500 people worldwide. It's called Just Another Day in Celebrationville. It just tells people what's happening in our town. I don't do videos. I could say I don't have time, but I'm just shy. So I don't have a videographer on staff. But I think that it's very important. My phone message says, "This is Kathy." I don't just say you have reached 245-627-801. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you at my earliest convenience. Please take that off your script. When I call you, if you say you'll get back to me at your earliest convenience, that is so bad. So I try to say to people, don't do that. And how may I help you? So my email even says at the bottom, if you're trying to reach me and it's of utmost importance, please pick up the phone and call me. My message is very personable. It says, and I will call you back. And until we speak, I wish you a magical day, because that's I'm in Disney. So people go, I love your message because I know you're going to call me back. And so that's really important. Join things, whatever it is. We deliver food to the hungry on 192. That's my technique. That is my tool, is getting with people every single day. When I go to lunch, it's not just with friends. It's always with somebody that I'm giving back to the community. It's a 501c3. It's a board meeting. And that's where I get.
I think the summary is none of us really use a lot of tools. And so sometimes you can waste a lot of time using tools.
And there's a nugget on the voicemail, which is if you think about that you want people to be able to reach your voicemail and want to wait to hear from you, you should consider analyzing or auditing what your voicemail says and whether it makes somebody want to wait.
Yeah. And just one last thing is on the voicemail, once I'm in contract, if you call me and you've made an offer, I say, just want to tell you, Susie, that's not your name. I'll say, I just want you to know, as of this point, we no longer will text, ever. We are in contract. We're making offers. It will be on via email. It's the only way I know I can track what I said, remember what I said. And when you say to me, I make a counter offer, I go, I'm not going to remember that. That's because I'm old. So I use that as an excuse. But I'm not going to remember that. So after they tell me I'd like this purchase price, I go back and I take a quick moment, not text, and I email them back and said, per our conversation at 2:15 today, you said. And it's amazing, the lawsuits that are happening and the miscommunications and all that is normally because of texting. Be careful of texting.
So we only have a few minutes left, and there's some great nuggets. So thank you so much for sharing and giving us a behind the scenes. But I want to do this because, like I said, I'll see how much we can cram into this one question. Two things. One, where's your business now coming from, and where do you think it's going to come from next year? Are you changing anything? Are you going to run the same plays, going into the next year?
All of our business comes from Sphere and past clients, and I actually think it's the best. It's a gift for this market right now because we are trusted and known, and our goal is to just keep growing our Sphere. One thing we say all the time is 20% of your people that you know will always refer you. 20% will never refer you. So what we're really focusing on is really training up that 60% that just needs to know how to connect you to their community. And so we just are constantly focusing on how to appropriately give back to them and train them, like our little soldiers, to give back to us and to connect us to the people they love and trust.
Roughly how often do you stay in touch with your Sphere?
We do 3 to 4 events a year, usually 3. And so we use the events, and we just use the good old 7 levels, Michael Mayer. We use a process beforehand, do the event, use a process after to stay in touch. But then we do so much community service that we end up in touch with them a lot more. But 3 intentional conversations, and hopefully with that 3 face-to-face because of the events a year.
Nice. All right, great. Test what I'm at, Where's your business coming from now? You think it's going to be coming from the same place next year?
So to me, it really doesn't matter where the industry is heading. I plan to do the same things I do every day and be consistent about it. I plan to focus on the things I can control. And over time, my business grew because I did things consistently. My first few years in real estate, it was coming to work every day. It was prospecting. It was role playing. And then I did open houses every weekend, even though I wasn't really very lucky with open houses. Nobody came to my open houses, but I did them for years. And now my focus is really my past clients, making sure I set one day a week to talk to my past clients, and my conversations are very personal with them. It's really not about real estate. It's how's your family, any life events. And I remember those events. I write them down, actually, if they're getting married or having a baby. and, retiring, I make note of those dates and I call them. And they remember. I get invited to a lot of those events, so they become a part of my family. And that's really at the heart of my business is my past clients. Yeah.
Awesome. Yanira, what about you?
So we have a database right now of about 49,000 clients that we're in constant contact. And we don't buy leads. We generate leads with the brand. As I mentioned before, about 800 leads a month. So we're going to continue, obviously, working on that. But we truly, like she said, we also learn not to depend on the market. We're constantly creating the market, regardless of what's happening out there. So 30% of our business in the team comes from international market, guys. If you're not in the international market, you're missing out big time. I do seminars and webinars 2 and 3 times a month to Latin America, to Chile, Colombia, Argentina, Peru, which we have a massive clientele buying cash here in Central Florida. And we direct ourselves also to the first-time home buyers. So I solve a lot to my community, doing orientations for free, going to places, bringing them to our office, taking them to communities, paving the path for them once they buy a home to continue with us, now creating their first investment with us, how they can create financial freedom, and teaching them how to become and have their best quality of life. It's creating that community that is going to constantly be creating the market together with you. And definitely in my team, everybody has to ask for referrals in every single phone call. So we need to have at least 3 to 5 referrals for every client that we talk to.
Nice. And I would say another thing I saw that you did, if you wouldn't mind sharing just a quick little high-level overview. I saw that you were in, was it Texas that you went to, and you were actually looking to see what's going on in different markets, right?
Oh, for sure. Definitely. The Yanira team is expanding. I'm saying it today. Oh, my God, to all of you beautiful people. The Yanira team is expanding definitely in 2025 to other states. We are going after, again, remember what I told you at the beginning, finding your niche. So my niche, obviously, is the Latino community. So we're definitely dedicated to look at where the community is growing so we can go to those places.
So you went there. Yeah, I mean, that's commitment for sure. So
yeah.
Thank you. What about you, Kathy? Where's your business coming from? I'm guessing you have some great referral business based on the reviews that I saw that were raving about Kathy.
And I know that can be discouraging for new agents to say, well, that's great for her. I'm just beginning. But I do crazy things like we teach this week, this month. So I'm a print person. So there's a Celebration magazine. And a lot of young agents say, well, print's dead. I said, oh, well, you just keep thinking that. Let me go do my printing. For example, we're going to have an hour and a half with, it's called Loans and Lemonade. And it doesn't just go for our community of celebration because people get this all over, but it's also for other agents. And that's another key that I do. I keep really good relationships with my other colleagues. Somebody just decided to offer a flat fee for listings. I called him up and I said, okay, now talk to me. What do you think that's doing for the industry? And he knew, he said, I knew you were going to call. So, and he's going to change some of his ways after that. But truly, it's education. We teach financial literacy for our young adults in their 40s and 50s who have young kids. We did a focus group with my Celebration Foundation. What is the largest worry you've got for your kids? Do you want them to learn table manners, how to talk to somebody, get off their cell phone, be aware of hacking? And every single focus group of parents that we talked to, they said they need financial literacy. They're going to college next year, and there's going to be credit card companies on the campus. And so we said, well, then you're going to come. The parents are going to go here. The kids are going to go over here. So we're going to be running a whole raft of financial literacy. So we go back to our community and say, what do you want? I say to my hairdresser, what do you wish you knew about real estate?
It's not about what you want. It's about what you're going to serve,
and
right?
They'll say, oh, well, you mean you talked to me about it? I said, yeah, come on over to the office, or come to my house, or let's go to lunch, not just your friend, but ask questions. Yeah. People will tell you what they want. It's not what you want. It's not the lead you want. what do they want, you'll get a lead from them for sure.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I am going to pass it back over to the host with the most here, to Aaron, but I wanted to say it was my honor to be with you guys today. Thank you so much. Thanks to our guests. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right. How many of you guys learned something from these panelists? Make some noise. All right. We are going to wrap up, but join us at the Eden Lounge Bar. It is the best in ambiance, and they won awards for being the best burger in town. People always think I'm kidding, but I'm not. But join us at the Eden Lounge. Where's PJ? PJ's in the back somewhere. PJ in the back with Element Mortgage. He's buying the first $500 plus providing the tip that's ordered. So if you stick around and order, but you got to be one of the first. You can't just like waltz in there later and think we're buying your food. You got to buy the first $500. It's on PJ. Let's give him a giant round of applause for that. So stick around, hang out. If you got to go, you got to go. But one more time, let's give it up for the panelists and Tobi. And then if y'all could jump up, Ryan's going to get a picture of you guys together. If all the panelists and Tobi could just jump up and come together, we'll push these chairs back and just jump in the middle. Brian will get a good photo. He's right in the middle. And also, could we give one more round of applause to Dave with DStewartProductions? Dave, you want me to put... Yeah? You want them to put their hands up or something? All right, cool. Come together in the middle. Get a good shot. And don't forget to join us November 21st. You'll get an email about it. It'll also have info on how to donate to help us raise more money.